I am ready once again. For rare, we got Quicksmith Rebel. When it enters the battlefield, you can tap an artifact and have it deal 2 damage to any target. Does seem pretty good. I don't feel like there's a lot of discard outlets to really make refurbish super great. Otherwise, we got a Tune with Ether, Self-Assembler, if we just want to try and grab as many Self-Assemblers as we can, just to keep the 4/4s going. I think I actually like Quicksmith Rebel. To be honest, I'm not super excited with any of the other cards. There is Chief of the Foundry if we want to go wide. But I haven't had too much luck so far with the going wide deck, so I think we'll just try the Quicksmith Rebel. We got Foundry Hornet, we got Whirler Virtuoso, Foundry Inspector. I do like Daring Demolition. If we take that, maybe the Fenhaller Hornet will wheel. Also Whirler Virtuoso, which is a decent energy sink. Could grab the Virtuoso, try to go red-blue artifacts. Look for one of these other cards to wheel. And then I think I'd rather just take the removal spell over the Virtuoso. Let's try Rakdos artifacts. Planar Bridge. It is a good card, but not great in draft. Ether Meltdown's alright. Venter's Apprentice isn't super exciting. Rush of Vitality and Live Fast are both good black cards. Got Destructive Tampering, just destroy an artifact. We could also... I mean, Ether Meltdown is a really good card. It might be a sign blue is open. Because the cards in our colors are okay, but not great. I think I'm just going to take the good combat trick in our colors. And another Ether Meltdown. Which means blue is probably open. And then Metallic Rebuke. We're not missing much out here. We're taking Ether Meltdown. I'm going to grab Ether Meltdown and see what else gets passed to us. Ooh, Unlicensed Disintegration. All right, so that is a very good sign for Rakdos being open. Also Fortuitous Find, which I have been impressed with in draft. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a Live Fast or Fortuitous Find or Ether Poisoner back. But in the meantime, Unlicensed Disintegration is definitely where we want to be. But right now, we're mostly looking on some more artifact cards to fit into our deck. We have Malphus Squad. We also have Destructive Tampering. I think Malphus Squad is more important because we actually don't have any of the cards with any artifact cards at the moment. We could grab Weldfast Monitor now. There's also Chandra's Pyro Helix. But dealing 2 damage. I think the Monitor is the most upside for us. Maybe even the Salvager, although the fact that you can't sack creatures at instant speed with Salvager is a big downside. Let's look at the Monitor here. Barricade Breaker looks great, especially once you pick up some more artifacts, which we're going to be prioritizing the next pack. Yeah, definitely better than Precise Strike here. Alright, so we have Consulate Turret, which is at least an artifact. Probably not going to be playing Ether Meltdown now. Hijack is fine, but I'm happy to take it on the wheel. Now, the Gremlin... Is a Gremlin going to be better than the Destructive Tampering? Having a 1-2, which is sometimes a 2-3, it's a little small. I'll go with the Gremlin. Give me a little bit more of an early play. Not a big fan of Cathartic Reunion in draft. In Constructed in the right deck, it's great. So that was the card I least wanted. Come back out of that pack, but that's fine. Key to the City. So there's a discard outlet. If we don't have Unfurbished. It's still a cheap artifact, though. There's also Servo Schematic. Oh, there's also Untethered Express. Crew 1. For a 4/4 trample that gets a +1/+1 counter. Yeah, we're going with the Untethered Express. That's one of the best vehicles I've seen so far. I mean, we're passing, honestly, not a whole lot. Some okay cards in our colors, but hopefully on the wheel we should be able to get something. Lifecrafter's Bestiary. I'm not playing green, unfortunately, so instead... We got another combat trick, another Daring Demolition. Now we'll have 2 Daring Demolitions and an Unlicensed Disintegration. There's also a Reservoir Walker for an artifact. But I think at this point we're looking for more cheap artifacts, not big artifacts. I'd rather just take the removal over those. There's also the Dragster. Which works for a couple turns. Oh, we could also go for a 3rd Daring Demolition. How many Daring Demolitions is too many? That's my question. At this point, we have 2 of those and we have 1. I think since we already have 2 Daring Demolitions and Unlicensed Disintegration, we can take the Dragster. The Demolition is more likely to wield than the Dragster anyway. I'm also looking to get... Oh, and we got another Daring Demolition passed to us. So right now, we are a little bit light on creatures since we do have a couple of vehicles. Not a whole lot of good red cards. I could take Fenhauler. But I think out of the choices, I'd rather just take the Daring Demolition here. It's a 3-mana 3/3. It attacks each turn if able. But if we tap it before combat to our vehicles, it won't matter that it's attacking. It's also just Enraged Giants. I would also mind Live Fast or Chandra's Pyrohelix. I think at this point we're really needing some cheaper creatures right now. No, there's Salivating Gremlins, which will be a 2/3 sometimes. A 4/3. Also Fortuitous Find. I do really like Fortuitous Find to get back a creature in the vehicle. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go with Fortuitous Find. I've been really impressed by this card when my opponents have played against me. Now, Reservoir Walker or Self-Assembler. I don't have any other assembly tokens right now. There's also Implement of Malice. There's also Quicksmith Genius, which help us loot and help us crew vehicles. Let's go with the Quicksmith Genius. So now we have the Prowler, which can potentially kill an X1. A 3-2, which will help us deal extra damage when we crew it in our vehicles. I think that's better than the Prowler. So I have an Aeronaut or Hijack. Already have a Hijack on the Flyer. So we have Pyro Helix from extra early plays. Could play the Puzzle Knot without being able to crack it at all. I think we have enough bigger removal. I think we can just take the Puzzle Knots. Even just playing it, not being able to crack it, just getting some life and having an artifact, just for some of our other synergies, I think it's going to be important. I don't think I need 2 Ruinous Gremlins. I think I'd rather have a second Puzzle Knot. So now there's Built to Smash. Sure, why not? Could potentially get my 4th Demolition. I don't remember what pack it was. Doesn't look like it when we get it. Doesn't look like it wheeled. That's okay. We got Padim. Not great for our deck. Siege Modification is a great card since we got a couple really good vehicles. Ooh, there's also Weldfast Engineer. I don't actually have a lot of artifact creatures, and because it is a multicolored card, there's a good chance that'll wield more than the Siege Modification. Also, you have Ether Chaser is good. Aeronaut and Poisoner are also pretty good. The question is, what card do I think is least likely to wheel? It's probably the Siege Modification, I hope. Hopefully when the 2 drops or the Engineer wheel, but I think let's just pick up the Siege Modification. Ooh, Gonti. Gonti's a fun card, or else we have a 0-4 with Reach. 0-4 is not going to help us crew our vehicles. Also a 1-2, which can bring things back. Do the fortuitous fine. I do like Gonti. You also have Peace Walker Colossus. Not playing white. So it does have crew 4, which is quite a lot. So we could just play the Construct, another Daring Demolition. At this point, I think we just need the 2-drop, just help our curve. Hope maybe crew some early vehicles. Essence Extraction I also like, along with another Daring Demolition. I could have like 5 of those in my deck at this point if I wanted to. There's also Ether Chaser. Don't have a ton of ways to gain energy now, but it does make servos. Let's grab the Ether Chaser. Panharmonicon? Panharmonicon would double Puzzle Knot, Construct. Doesn't do a whole lot for us, but what else? But I mean, there's also this Puzzle Knot. Is probably just better for us. My heart says take the Panharmonicon, but I think the Puzzle Knot's actually gonna be better for us. Now there's a Mobile Garrison. Is that better than Ether Chaser? So grab the Mobile Garrisons. Now we'll have 3 vehicles and 1 Siege Modification. I think it's good to have a 3rd vehicle. Also a Servo Schematic. Just to get multiple artifacts in the battlefield. Now, Enraged Giant, since just to get a little bit more of a high-end card. Top-end card. Now, next pack will be the first one. We have Weldfast Engineer. Don't have a ton of artifact creatures, although we do have a lot of vehicles. I think we have enough early plays now. I think we can afford just to take... I think the Engineer has a bigger upside to the Aeronaut. Could just grab a second barricade breaker. I'm gonna need to make a lot of cuts. I think that's better than having to make no cuts at all. It's better to have a lot of cards you can play in a deck. I have to cut some. Oh, welding sparks. I somehow missed that first time around. Yes, please. Whoops, I was muted there. Alright, since we have a pretty low curve, and our most expensive cards have improvised, we can probably get away with 16 lands. Now, Ruinous Goblin. So, for our early creatures, we have the Gremlin, not Goblin. Gremlin, Ether Chaser, Fireweaver, Construct, Servo Schematic. I can probably cut one of them. Out of all of them, the Gremlin is probably the cut. Probably not going to be getting a lot of revolt value off night market aeronauts. We won't have anything with flying, but theoretically we should just be able to beat down against our opponents, where it won't matter. So I need to make 3 more cuts. I could cut the Enraged Giant, because then my big plays are, I guess, siege modification on a vehicle. Do I need 3 daring demolitions? I'd rather not cut removal. I feel like Puzzle Lot's probably the worst artifact, but having the cheap artifacts is going to make our Fireweaver and Geniuses a lot better. I could cut Weldfast Engineer. Weldfast Engineer is going to help our... No, I think I have enough artifact creatures where it's worth having Weldfast Engineer. It is a 3/3. So cut the Night Market Lookout. I need to make 2 more cuts. I could go with Malphus Squad. Malphus Squad is a good versatile card. It can make a 1/1 for all our artifact synergies. To be honest, I'm not actually quite sure how good Quicksmith Rebel is going to be, but I do want to try it out, see how it works. Two more cuts. A 4/4, I feel like it's going to be outclassed with the bigger creatures. I think having the vehicles is going to be enough threats, so I can probably afford to get rid of the giant, especially if I have 2 7/5s. Then I need to cut 1 more card. I'm feeling the Malphus Squad. I think I can cut the Malphus Squad. All right, we can try this. And then for the basic lands, we just go half and half. Because while the red cards are more important for the early game plays, we will need double black more often than double red. Let's try this, see what happens. Right. Rakdos artifact shenanigans, here we go, up against Tosa. I go first. And got a couple early artifacts. Hopefully we'll draw a third land, but we got a couple 3-drops we can hopefully play into. Play a Bob Ross Mountain and pass the turn. Depending on what they play. So we can't kill that with the partner lock. We'll probably just play the schematic. Hopefully we'll draw a third land. Now 16 lands is one less than the average, but we do have a pretty low curve in this deck. Ooh, our opponent has adventures there. Along with pacification array. Well, I will not block. Unfortunately, that is not a land. So I guess we'll just ping our opponent. And hope to draw a land next turn. Otherwise, things are not going to be great for us. Ideally, we just top deck 2 more swamps. Our opponent has their own mobile garrison. Alright, alright. I could have theoretically kept the token back to, in double block the Thriving Turtle. But I'm not super worried about a 1/4. Alright, so we top deck Swamp. Now the question is, do we go with our own mobile garrison? Our opponent is also leaving up a lot of island. Because our opponent is leaving up... Okay, which card do we want to get countered? Which card are we okay with getting countering? Probably just Daring Demolition. Just to get rid of their mobile garrison. It is... I feel like it is threatening, more threatening than their 1/4. Pacification array is going to be a problem too. Do I want to discard a card? To be honest, I could discard Siege Modification. No, I think next turn just playing... See, I think I actually like my hand right now. If they attack the Reservoir Walker, I might just trade with the Quicksmith Genius. We'll see what happens. It'll also be interesting to see what our opponent does with the Pacification Array. That complicates things a lot. I don't actually... I took out the Gremlin I don't know if I actually have any just straight up artifact removal. I just have vehicle removal and during demolition. Alright, mobile garrison is out of the picture, which is a little disappointing. That's alright. My opponent has universal solvent. Looks like they're one or two lands away from activating it. I think at this point, I will just trade with the Ritual Rocker. Then I can demolition their turtle. Turtle attack for 1. Got a Death Toucher, which can make some 1/1. That pacification array might actually win our opponent the game. We'll see. Okay, response to that, we could just kill their Death Toucher now by sacking this. I think that's actually what we're doing. Now my opponent has a 1/4 life. Ooh, Untethered Express is a good one. I'm not able to play Siege Modification in the Express. I think I'll play the Express. The next turn for the modification. No attacks. The next turn, I could actually just put the modification on the servo so that my opponent can't tap. We'll have to force between which one they want to tap down. And I can just give whichever one wanted plus 2 to 0. I'll also just blow it up with the Universal Solvent. At least that's off the board. Not what I was looking for. So now... So now I'm in this very awkward position where I can't actually get through their 1/4. Theoretically, if I put whichever creature I put on siege modification, they're just going to tap down. Our opponent did not actually tap down either of them. Still can't get through their Kingpin though. Unfortunately. Hopefully we'll draw one of our big improvised creatures. Gratuitous Fine would be a good top deck to get us back in this game. Our opponent has a Ballista Charger. We have a Spire Side Infiltrator. No attacks. Fun fact, even though our mobile garrison is under the malfunction, we can still tap the infiltrator to it. Our opponent has another vehicle. And they put the vehicle on top. Are you there to ping you for 1? Just because every point of damage will add up, hopefully, in this game. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm at 7 mana. Not able to play Siege Modification in the Barricade Breaker. But I can at least get this in play. The next turn I can put the Siege Modification on one of my other creatures. No attacks yet, but next turn we're attacking. Our opponent's gaining life 2 with Adventure Fair, and they got Tezzerat's Ambition. Great. Ping you for 1 to counteract Inventor's Fair, because why not? Ooh, alright, so now... I was going to Siege Modification, but at this point I think we just need to play the other Barricade Breaker. Second Barricade Breaker. Oh, Karl Kopinski did the art on that one. Karl Kopinski is one of my favorite artists in Magic. His gritty style I really love. Our opponent sacked Inventor's Fair. Let's see what they get. Do they have a second pacification array? Oh, they have Torrential Gear Hulk? Oh no. Okay, they're not able to cast it yet. Wait, they don't actually have any instants in the graveyard, though. Ooh, I could Gonti and Siege modification? Sure, let's start with Gonti, see what our opponent has on top of the library. I could bounce a permanent or just draw 2 cards. I think let's go with Leave in the Dust, just so I can bounce the pacification array at some point. And then play you there, so you threaten to kill the Kingpin. I guess pump you also. Opponent may just block and trade there, but at least get the Kingpin off the board. Oh, they're just blocking the barrier. I suppose if they would have blocked there, no, they still would have survived. Good game, opponent. That was a close game, but our top decks were able to get through for us at the end there. Ooh, a couple of cards. Shadowcat and Marasa Sproutling. All right. Well, we are currently 1-0 with our Rakdos artifact vehicle nonsense. We can go A, but our opponent goes first. Ooh. We can't keep this hand. We don't have any cards we can play on 2 lands, and even if we did have a 3rd land, we would not be able to do much. This, unfortunately, is mulligan. This, however, is a keep. So now... So now, we could just bin one of the lands. Since our creatures and vehicles are really good. I'm always nervous binning lands, 'cause it seems like most of the time that happens. I get stuck on lands. Or I get mana screwed, not drawing enough lands later on, but I think that's okay. Fire Weaver. Unfortunately, that's a good blocker for an Ether Chaser. Probably won't be making a 1/1 next turn. Unless our opponent decides to attack with the Reckless Fire Weaver. Opponent's on red-white. Oh, there goes our Ether Chaser. Oh, Barricade Break is good for us. Now we play the Drakester. Next turn, play the Engineer and crew the Drakester. Attack for a lot. Oh, our opponent has Peacewalker Colossus. Oh boy. And Craig fragmentize. Okay, this is not good for us. So now our opponent can just attack with a 6/6 and kill us in 3 turns. So what is our best bet for surviving? I guess we could kill the Reckless Fireweaver. Or else we could just play the Well-Fast Engineer. Let's just play the Engineer. During demolition off the top. Would be really good next turn. Let's say no blocks this turn, because hopefully we can draw some way to deal with the Peace Walker Colossus. Alright. 6/3 first strike. We'll hopefully be able to handle their 6/6. I suppose instead of playing the Well-Fast Engineer the turn I played it, I could have just waited. This is an instant. I could have waited on that. Well, I will block, force you to play an instant or some other way to get rid of it. Great. I probably misplayed that. That's all right. I can unlicense Disintegration the Peace Walk Colossus this turn. Then next turn, if I draw land, play my 7/5. Now I'm at 5 life. 4 life. Opponent is out of cards in their hand, though. That's still not enough. Alright, so I forgot Unlicensed Disintegration was instant there. So I could have killed their Colossus sooner. Because of that, if I would have done that sooner, I probably could have won this game, actually. The game would have been a lot more interesting. At this point, nothing else I can do. GG, opponent. So that was a disappointing misplay on my part, but it happens. Still only our first loss to the deck. Playing against Fragmentoff. And I go first. I don't have any way to crew the mobile garrison, but I do have Unlicensed Disintegration, a Daring Demolition, and a Barricade Breaker. I think I have to keep this. Another Barricade Breaker, alright. We do have a pretty low curve. Our opponent played 2 1-1s. Not a big unlicensed disintegration target, unfortunately. Hopefully next turn, though, we'll draw a creature to crew our mobile garrison. That is a creature for mobile garrison. Now next turn we can maybe unlicense disintegration to kill Pia, or else another big threat they play. We'll have to see. What does this do? They get 4 energy, and they can pay. Is that 8 energy to deal 6 damage to a player planeswalker? Else 2 for 1 damage to target creature. Okay. Now the question is it worth trading a Quicksmith Genius with Pia Nalar or 2 servos? I think it probably is. Through you by tapping the one you can play. Untap you. We'll have to watch out attacking with any more X2s. If they could block it with a token and then paying it for 1 second damage to the Renegade. In the meantime, they're only attacking me for 1 in the air each turn. They not a land, but yeah, I feel like they have so many cards in hand. Oh, they're also short on lands. Yeah, I think I need to leave the Renegade be for now. And just not attack the Genius, just attack the 3/4. Now the downside is, if opponent triple blocks, they can then activate the Renegade and then just kill the vehicle. It will kill all of their entire board except for their flyer, though. If they do that, I'll have a couple 3/2s, I'll have a 1/1. Yeah, I think it's still better than having a Genius trade with the token. So untap you. Let's see if your opponent triple blocks. They do triple block. All right. Right, they got their own infiltrator. Alright, I got the swap, so now at this point, I could just, I feel like the demolition, the fact that demolition can take care of vehicles is going to be better than the disintegration. I will lose some value off it because I wasn't the 3 damage, but I still think it's better to save the demolition for the bigger threats. I'll kill you. Attack with both my guys. Opponent is at 6 right now. They drew their 4th land. Oh, what a burnout. Alright, so now I just need to hope to draw another land to play a Barricade Breaker. I guess that's where I'm at right now. Because it's not really worth playing during demolition on their tokens. I'm at 11. Let's see what else our opponents can do. They have a Scrapper champion. Well, I have a big 7/5. If they attack with the Scrapper champion and pump it, I probably will just block with the Barricade Breaker. So at this point, I think I just have to block and trade with the Scrapper champion. I just need to get it on the board. Oh, that's disappointing. Now let's kill that. The next turn, play our second Barricade Breaker. They're gonna have some blockers today. Okay, so I have 8 mana, which means if I play Fortuitous Find, this is an interesting spot. I could just play Barricade Breaker. The next turn, Fortuitous Find to get back the other breaker and maybe just the Garrison. I think at this point I'll just play the 7/5 just to get it on the board. Right, well, I will block their 2/3. I'm going to be going down to 6 as well. That creature's down. I'm at 6. And they have an army of 1/1s. So the question is, what do I bring back with Fortuitous Find? I could bring back, grab Engineer, Barricade Breaker, Mobile Garrison. So artifact card, you. Creature card. I won't be able to play the Barricade Breaker and my vehicle in the same turn. Is it still worth... So now the question is it still worth grabbing the Barricade? I think I'm actually going to grab the Infiltrator. Just because even just tapping it will help me ping my opponent. They're only at 6 right now. Oh no! Man, inspired charge for the win. Opponent. I thought I was gonna be able to pull it out there in the end, but I guess not. Right, let's run it back. All we need to do now is just get 6 straight wins, and we should be good. Easy enough, right? Up against Facundo? Have I played against Facundo before? The name sounds familiar. Anyway, our opponent goes first, and we have a couple 2-drops. And a couple 3-drops if you draw a 3rd land. We are on the draw, so this is a keep. And we have Untethered Express. I'll probably just play the Ether Chaser. Turn 2, we'll see. One is also playing red. We have a Concoction module, which makes energy when a creature... Is that... Yes, creatures under their control. So in that case, let's play the... Ooh, they have their own Ether Chaser. Well, I don't want to trade with it, so instead, I think I'll just play the Mobile Garrison. Yeah, let's save the Welding Sparks. Just play the Mobile Garrison. No attack. Opponent now has a... Are they going to attack with their Ether Chaser? Opponent thinks and realizes I can block my Mobile Garrison. So, giving a vehicle the ability to just tap and deal 2 damage to any target. A vehicle isn't really the artifact you want to do that. I could play the Express, and then next turn play the creature and attack with both my vehicles. The other option is I could just attack with the Mobile Garrison, depending on how they block. Just use Wielding Sparks to pull that out. I think I'm going to do that. But crew you. Opponent does not block. So then instead, I guess I'll just play Untethered Express. And since the Garrison untapped the Ether Chaser, I can through the Express block. Our opponent has a Sky Skiff flying vehicle. Our opponent could have built a smash. Oh, that has Menace, doesn't it? But I can't block that one, but it's still good to get the Ether Chaser off the board. And there's the built a smash. That's alright. We got a swamp. So we could play the engineer and the eager construct. That sounds good to me. This point, I'm at 5 lands. I think we can bottom that. Scratch the bottom. Through you. Tapping you, alright. Bump you up. Let's unblock my first striker. Or untap my first striker. Yes. I guess our opponent could have screwed up the Sky Skiff and used it to block the Chaser. Doing that now. Opponent has their own mobile garrison, okay. I have Daring Demolition, which I can't play, but I do have Welding Sparks and Instant, so I'm gonna crew you, tapping the construct. Opponent's thinking about what they want to do. Flyer 2, that's fine. Opponent thinking about something. Alright, so now you could just Welding Sparks just to destroy, just to kill that right now. Deal it 6 damage. Let's give you 3 power to hopefully attack through the skiff. And attack everyone but my 2/1. And then untap 3/3. We're in a good spot right now. Our opponent concedes, alright. Oh, it just looks like we got a little bit mana screwed there. Alright, 2-2 so far with our Rakdos vehicles deck. Got the pack, nice. We're up against Rad Guardian. And I go first with no mountains. Oof. I think this is the mulligan. If we don't draw land, if we don't draw, we specifically need a mountain in our first 2 draw steps. Otherwise, we're dead in the water. So this is unfortunately a mulligan. Alright, this is better. Keep this. I think I'm gonna bin the puzzle knot. We are on the play, so having no turn 2 play is still probably going to be fine. And I think all our other cards are good enough. I think we'll just bottom the puzzle knot. Plays a swamp and passes. We will play a swamp and pass again. The opponent plays a Winding Constrictor. Great. So against Winding Constrictor, so next turn, they're probably going to be playing something big, which means we're probably going to need to leave the Infiltrator back, not attack the Infiltrator, so we can crew and block the Untethered Express. So let's play the Infiltrator. Do anything by clicking it? They're attacking. So, ideally, I want to get the Winding Constrictor off the board, but I can't afford to lose my Infiltrator to a combat trick. I think I have to say no blocks, unfortunately. There are just way too many things that can go wrong. Gets a lot of energy, but it doesn't have a lot of big creatures yet. So I'm gonna play you. Their 2/1 can kill my Infiltrator. Instead, I'll just pass the turn. Opponent is thinking. They have not played a land yet. Alright, so once again, this feels like they're attacking because they probably have a combat trick. In which case, I'd rather take the 2 the next turn attack with the 5/5 Trampler. So I'm going to say no blocks. Live fast, okay. Alright, so now let's crew this just to deal them 1. Now I have Weld Fast Engineer just to make my trampling vehicle even bigger. Sounds good to me. Now the question is, am I willing to trade my Infiltrator with my Shayla's claim? I think I'd rather have it back to block. So I'll just attack with Express. It is 7 trampling power. And of course, it just has no blocks there. If they attack with a Constructor again, I might block with the Infiltrator. At this point, if they do use a combat trick to kill the Infiltrator, I still have a creature on board to crew the Express. So theoretically, if they have 2 removal spells, I'd still be able to crew the Express next turn. Instead, oh, Hunt the Weak. Engineer. Now we're leaving back the Constructor and attacking with the Sage. Let's say no blocks. Alright, not a land. But Gonti can crew that vehicle. Alright, it says you may cast that card, which means I can't get lands. Ooh, Hunt the Weak. Yeah, Hunt the Weak looks like a good one. Lifecraft Cavalry could also be good, but I think Hunt the Weak be best. So let's I actually want to leave Gonti back to block since it has Death Touch. Let's crew with the Infiltrator. I'm not gonna block. I'm not gonna attack the Infiltrator this turn anyways. The Express got us there. this is a fun deck. I'm glad I'm getting some wins in it finally. Let's keep this win streak going. Up against Bartioli this time. Our opponent goes first. This is a very slow hand on the draw. But I still... this is a really slow hand on the draw. But I feel like we have enough draws to make it decent. I feel like this is still better than a random mulligan to 6. I think I could very well get outsped by our opponent. Although they did play an island, which is good for us. Means they're probably not going to be super aggro. At least that's the hope. Yeah, they played a 0-4 with Reach, which won't be attacking us anytime soon. Now we got our 4th land. Opponent played another 0-4. So now the question is, what do I play? I could play the Genius, then the Express, and start attacking with the Express. Then again, I could play the Drakester, and then next turn play the Genius and just start attacking with the Drakester right away. And save the Express? I think I'm gonna play the Drakester this turn and start attacking the vehicles a turn early. Even though Untethered Express is the better vehicle, I'm gonna want my opponent to use any of the removal on this one rather than this one. So now I could play Quicksmith Rebel. Is that going to be better than Quicksmith Genius? To be honest, being able to rummage next turn when I play Untethered Express is probably just going to be better for me. Opponent's probably just going to chump with the Skygate. Oh, they don't. All right. One just plays a land and passes. So now at this point, this seems a good place for welding sparks. Yeah, this seems like as good a place as any to kill their Peafowl. Deal it 4 because I have 1 artifact. Also give our opponent a chance to block the Skygate. They don't. Alright, so now at this point, I could attack, see if they chump block. Try and fake something, instead I'll just play the Untethered Express. At this point... Man, this is actually kind of tough. To be honest, there's not a lot of great chances for me to play Quicksmith Rebel. This next turn, I could play the Reckless Fireweaver in a Quicksmith Genius. Next turn, play Servo Schematic and Mobile Garrison, start coming off. I think I am gonna ditch the Quicksmith Rebel, unfortunately. Another Daring Demolition. I think I'll say no attacks. I could try and fake out my opponents. Now let's play you and you. Through you with the Fireweaver. Alright, they killed my Quicksmith Geniuses, that's fine. Might just double block the Skygates. They don't block at all. That's interesting. At some point, they are going to need to start blocking with those. Oh, that's a big thing. Too bad they can't through it. So at this point, I'm probably just better off. They're so close to being dead. I could just Daring Demolition when they're Skygates. I think I'm actually gonna get a bunch of triggers off Fireweaver. Just make sure he's really close to being dead. Rummage you. And keep all of those. Play other artifacts. I think I do like those. Activate you, being crewed by you who just came in. Back with everyone. Opponent is at 1. Ooh, they gain control of my press, but too little, too late. Alright, Rakdos vehicles are getting there. I'm back to the gold tiers. Random card, a Rogrin Crystal, a Jeskai, and a Alright, we're at 4 wins. If we get one more win, we'll gain back more gems than we paid for the event. Let's see how this goes. Up against Lord Arafrem. I go first. Don't have any swamps. But I can play a Quicksmith Genius, and if I draw any other land, I can start getting Untethered Express going. I have no play till turn 3. I think it's going to be fine since I'm on the play. pacification array. That is a good one, and a really annoying one too. Ooh, a swamp is good. Their opponent gonna counter our Quicksmith genius? They're just gonna tap it down. Alright, so ooh, ice over 20. And they have a raging map too. Alright, so at this point, they go with Weldfast Engineer or Barricade Breaker. If I draw a land next turn, I'll be 1 minute short of improvising in the breaker. I could just go with the Express, just force my opponent to waste. Ooh, I could lose, or I could rummage. So we got Siege Modification. Is probably going to be bad with Pacification Ray in. And I probably could use another land trying to get a second swamp. It's still pretty good. My opponent is going to be able to play around it pretty well with Pacification Array. I think I'm fine ditching that. And while Pacification Array will slow me down, I'll also use a lot of their opponent's mana. Once I get the Barricade Breaker in play, if they try to tap it, I can, in response, crew the Express, just attack the Express instead. A little ways off from doing that, but we'll get there. License Disintegration does not help us yet. Might force my opponent to tap down the Express. He might misplay. Or not, you never know. If I draw another land, I can improvise in the Barricade Breaker. Or else if they play any creature, I can just demolish and disintegrate it. Right, our opponent just passes. Right. They could have a counter spell up. The downside is this could tap an artifact or creature. If I enter combat and they tap down the Express, I won't be able to cast the breakers. I think I just need to cast this now. And hope they can't counter it. I don't think I actually want to rummage. I want to make sure I'll be able to kill the first threat they play. My opponent gonna tap down the engineer? Looks like it. Went and grabbed another swamp. They have an ornithopter. Alright, well, that won't help them crew their vehicle. They also got a cloud blazer. Alright, alright. They also can't tap down anything with pacification array. So, since they can't tap down anything with pacification array, through you by tapping the engineer, I could play the construct for the fact that I think I can wait on the construct. Pump you, so you have trample. Everything's expected to counter. Hindsight probably would have been better just to play the construct anyways. I will scribe bottom you. Keep those two cards in my hand. One has a contraband kingpin. That seems like a good unlicensed integration target. Let's kill you now before you get to scry some more. So, let's move to enter combat. Let's pump up the construct. See if my opponent decides to tap down the breaker or not. Opponent says oops, but there wasn't a whole lot they could do in that position. I guess they probably should have just attacked with the breaker, so it would be attacked with trample damage. But at this point in the game, there's honestly what helped them. I mean, it helped them for sure. They're still in a pretty bad spot. Play another vehicle, just in case. Keep doing demolition. I don't think our opponent can get out this one, but we'll see. I think there is, I don't remember the name of it, I think there is a 5-mana Wrath that lets you gain life for each creature that gets destroyed. It would definitely put them back in this game. I would have 2 vehicles. One is thinking. Can't say okay. I wish they'd give some more options to say here, some more things to say.
This will end badly for you.
They're one artifact short of killing my barricade breaker, thankfully.
More power!
Number 5. Rakdos vehicles are getting us there. Alright, let's see if we can get 2 more wins out of this. I think we can. The big Matic channel gets Slime King 47. I'm surprised there are 46 other people who also wanted Slime King as name. Yeah, we got a good curve. We're on the draw too. We can hopefully draw our 4th land soon. One has Universal Solvent. Prophetic Prism. My opponent's going deep in the artifacts this time. We got our own artifact, the Servo. I'm gonna have to watch out for Metallic Rebuke. One has a that can gain lifelink, that's fine. Play Quicksilver Genius. Let's not attack and do the 2/3. Thank you, Arena. The next turn, if they don't tap out, I could just play the Quicksmith Rebel. Or since they are tapped out, just play the Express, since they have a 4-power flyer. Yeah, let's get the Express in there. I could... Okay, so at this point, I can probably ditch one of the lands. probably the swamp. I don't think so. Ideally, I want to use. I don't think I want to trade with the pillar bug. It's my genius. I think I want to leave it back to block. Just I want to make sure I can attack with Express no matter what. So I want to make sure I have two creatures I can through it just in case. I think I'm fine just passing the turn here. Wonder if my opponent is actually a mono blue deck or if they're just stuck on not getting this second color. Back to the Raiders. That's fine. Alright, so theoretically, if I play the Rebel, I give the schematic able to tap and shock something. Use a Rebel to crew that, attack with the Express and these three, and if they block the token the Pillar Bug, I can just shock and kill the bug. But I'm worried my opponent has something. I think I'm fine just crewing it up and seeing what my opponent has. At this point, I think I will attack with the Genius too. Give him the lifelink? Yeah, sure. You can gain a couple life. Alright, so now with that, I think we're just gonna kill your flyer. The next turn, we can Quicksmith Rebel and get the Express going some more. Unless our opponent ices over it. They also have Foul. Alright, so could Welding Sparks end Engineer? I think I'd rather just get the Quicksmith Rebel in play. That's actually interesting. Our opponent has one card in hand. I feel like how else am I going to be able to get rid of the P-File if I don't use Welding Sparks on it? Let's just get the Quicksmith Rebel in play, just so I can start shocking my opponent. Don't attack. Our opponent is 1 mana away from activating the Universal Solvent. That's going to be something to watch out for. They can just give the P-File flying and attack, but it doesn't seem... I don't think they will, because I think I'll be easily able to outrace them from here. Right, and steps in. Let's just ping them for 2. And so now with Weld Fast Engineer, make the servo a 3-1. And just attack the servo. If they block, I can just kill their P-foul by shocking it with this servo schematic. Alright, and I got the welding sparks up for their next big play. In the meantime, I'm just slowly chipping away at their life total. One got a swamp. Ooh, and a daring demolition. So, in response to that, I'll just ping them one last time. Opponent is out of cards. So I could welding sparks the P-foil, the P-foul now. Leave them with their 3-2. The fact that the P-foul has 4 toughness is gonna make it harder to kill. If I draw one of my big improvised cards, you would need a lot of mana to cast it. Hey, if I would have been able to cast this. Let's attack with both. They'll probably block the engineer. You're going down to 7 though, they have no cards in hand, and I have a barricade breaker. Universal solvent. I forgot about that. Eager construct helps them scribe. 2. But I still think it's worth it. And then for 1, they're at 6. I'm getting a vehicle next turn. Oh, wow, that's a card. Nice. Yeah, sure, you have a 5/5. Kinda wish I would have saved one of those removal spells. I have 2 more daring demolitions though. I mean, they can sack their prism to kill my construct, but they still can't afford to really attack the anguish. They're at 6. Like maybe afford to attack once with it. They are attacking with the anguish. Are they going to play the last card in their hands? Construct is dying. And then they're playing a Malphus squad. Alright. I'm gonna need something big to get me back in this. Maybe, is it Fortuitous Find? The 3-mana sorcery lets me return a couple cards from my graveyard to my hand? Or else even just a Daring Demolition. Opponent's thinking. Instead decided to get a 4-2 instead of a 3-1 and a 1-1. Ooh, that is not going to help me. Great. I can't crew the mobile garrison either, which is a little unfortunate. Squad is Menace. Now I have 1 turn. Oh boy. I don't think I'm gonna win this one. Fireside Infiltrator. Yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Good game, Slime King 47. Say hi to the other 46 Slime Kings for me. So, unfortunately, we died to a good top deck for our opponent. In case you're wondering, that's why those cards are called bombs, because you play them and you win.